Okay, now it's the same topic, okay, and I'll ask you the same question all the time, okay, it's about the video and then your worksheet. And also let your parents know, okay, one of them can join in at about 8:55. Can? So if you have already watched the video as well as done the homework, okay, I want you to share what you know and want to know. So I created this Google form. Okay, I noticed that students are struggling, trying to type in the chat box. Because sometimes you click enter thinking that you can go to the next line. In the end, your response goes in, correct or not? So you try to use this. Okay, can you all access this? If you think this is good, then next time I will continue using Google Form. Because I thought if I have Google Form, right, it's easier for me to keep track of your progress. Because every week you'll be keying in certain things. And as I look at these responses, I know how to cater to your needs.
I'm using my iPad. I don't get. I'm not sure if I can.
You try? I think you need to log into Google account or something. This will not capture your email address, so you can log in using any email account. It doesn't matter. We don't record your email. I only take your name and your responses, that's all. Because I only need to see your responses.
I have submitted the Google form.
Thank you. Okay, we just wait a little while for Zishan to finish.
No problem.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you're right. Must get information from reliable source. Must also have good attitude. Yeah. So you actually can recall we actually did the attitudes, right? We also talk about skills, isn't it? The different skills
Yes.
aunties need to have. And then we went through the questions. So those two things that we talk about. But this time round, this week, we are actually going into the different
Scientific endeavor.
Scientific endeavor is the whole topic. Okay, we are actually going into variables and how to carry out the experiment. Also to talk about skills as well. If you have watched the video, I think you watched it probably earlier. Is that right? You watched it earlier, the video? Okay. So what did you Or shall I say, where are you now in school in terms of science? Have you finished the first chapter?
No, not really.
Not really, but have you done the variables, independent variable, dependent variable, control?
Not really. We were still only talking about what science is and went through lab safety.
Lab safety, yeah.
I
Actually,
didn't really learn much.
lab safety
But
is like later part, no, but your teacher brought forward to teach, right?
yes, but a good news is that my science teacher has chosen me to be the science representative.
That's nice to know. You like that?
I like it, but then I
Answer
am
the scientific question,
Oh.
how does water affect plant growth?
Hold on.
it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, we have to wait for Zixuan. Okay.
Mm.
Science rap. Science rap is quite fun.
It is okay, but I was hoping to also have a chance to be other representative as well. But then
No, you don't do so many jobs at one go. Focus on one first. Then you can actually switch role the next semester, I think.
I'm very sure it stays with you for the entire year. I just wanted to help the teacher out because no one in my class volunteered for any other roles when the teacher asked. I usually see no one raise their hand. So, but then after I became the science rep, whenever I try to volunteer, they immediately shot me down, even though they themselves never volunteer. So it just feels so weird. I just feel like they're not as responsible, but I really can't do anything about it.
It's not your responsibility to do anything. Okay. Zixuan,
Well,
are you done, Zixuan?
I do want to help out my class as much as possible.
That's nice of you. Zixuan, are you done? Perhaps next time I also include QR code, so maybe he can use the phone to answer, right? And then he can still view the screen. Okay, Zixuan? Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Okay, so today's topic, you need to identify what are variables. Okay, so I know that there is actually the video on the portal, but I found videos that are quite interesting, okay, to show you exactly how to carry out certain experiments and then how to determine the variables. Okay, so there are 3 types of variable. Oh, he's done. I saw his response. Okay, so he submitted also. Thank you so much, Zixuan. Can you hear me, Zixuan? Okay, good. All right, Zixuan, next time, I will also include the QR code. So you can actually use another device, like maybe your phone, to scan the survey.
We are trying to answer the scientific question, how does water affect plant growth? The scientific question is extremely important because it identifies 2 key components of your experiment, the independent and the dependent variable. The independent variable is the one variable that we have chosen to change in our experiment. The amount of this variable and how we use it is completely under our control. We are curious about the effects of the independent variable. In our example, water is the independent variable. As a scientist, I can't exactly control how much a plant grows, but I can directly manipulate the amount of water that each plant receives. The dependent variable is the data to be collected. Think dependent data. This variable will be measured to determine results. The dependent variable could be measured by time, or length, or temperature. The dependent variable in our example is growth. Let's look at some more examples. How does studying affect test scores? Which variable is the data to be collected? Test scores. Test scores are the dependent variable. And which variable can be directly controlled or changed by the scientist? Studying. The scientist will determine who studies, what they study, and how long they study for. Studying is the independent variable. Is blood pressure affected by caffeine? Which variable represents the data to be collected? Blood pressure. Blood pressure is the dependent variable. And which variable can be directly controlled or changed by the scientist? Caffeine. The scientist will determine how much caffeine is used in the experiment. Caffeine is the independent variable. Now that we understand scientific questions, it's time to start answering them. A hypothesis is a statement that makes an educated guess to answer the scientific question. There are several different ways to write a hypothesis, but one technique is the if-then statement, which follows this format. If independent variable, then dependent variable. Okay, so if water, then plant growth? Not exactly. Let's shape this up and add a predicted outcome. How about if grass is watered, then plant growth will be affected? This is not a suitable hypothesis. This is the equivalent of saying, if the Lakers play the Knicks, then someone will win. What kind of prediction is that? How about if grass is watered, then plant growth will increase? This is a specific predicted outcome to answer our scientific question. Let's do a few more for practice. How does studying affect test scores? Well, if I study, then my test scores will increase. Is blood pressure affected by caffeine? If I take caffeine, then my blood pressure will increase. Likewise, you could predict that blood pressure will decrease. It's not about getting the right answer. It's about phrasing and formulating the hypothesis correctly.
All right, so you got what the video is trying to tell you. Okay, so writing a hypothesis takes skills, you know. It's not as easy as it seems. Okay, in the video, you look at it, it seems like so easy, right? Okay, but when you are writing your own hypothesis, it might be a challenge. And that is what I noticed for many students. You're not just starting to write hypothesis. I mean, in P6, you already started doing that. And in the exam, usually they will ask one question on hypothesis, right? So you're supposed to write a hypothesis for the experiment described above. So that is the part A question. Yeah, and then after that, you are supposed to analyze the data, okay, then give your reasoning, then eventually what's the conclusion? Yeah, then they will ask you to identify the independent variable, dependent variable, as well as the control variable. So these are all very common things that you have already seen when you are in P6. Okay, so just a very, very quick recap on the types of variable. Okay, something to help you. Okay, if you want to do a screenshot, you can. This will help you to really understand, yeah, what are the various factors or what are the various variables. Now, when it's independent, right? So this is the thing, and it's the only one thing that you change in an experiment. Okay, because you want to know how you change this will affect certain thing. And the thing that you are affecting is the dependent variable. Okay, in this case, the liquid used to water each plant. Okay, so you are going to change only the amount of water, right? And then this one over here, dependent variable, is